like, did you make that? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's like the coolest homemade thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, it's poster board and individually addressable LEDs. But
that's crazy.
It was a really cool start into what kind of sparked. That was kind of the spark that started up a wildfire of what has become my brand at this point.
Hey guys, welcome to Project Connect, Season 3 opener with Andrew Magee here, DJ Square.
What's up?
Thank you for coming here today.
Hey, no, thank you for coming to me.
Oh yeah, I guess that is something I should bring apart, is we are not in the studio today. We are in his studio actually today, filming.
What's up?
So, super excited to be here. Thanks for letting us come over here and shoot.
And thank you for bringing all of these wonderful gadgets. I don't think I've had this much combined technology in my studio in
There's
quite a while.
lot with us.
it's pretty cool, honestly.
We'll get to the first photo here.
Okay. All right.
Which is this one. It's
okay.
You obviously at a venue, which is, what venue are you here at actually?
So actually that's at a wonderful little gaming bar, and I'm going to give them a bit of a plug here too.
Oh yeah,
because,
sure, go ahead.
Geeks and Glory, it's a great little spot. It's this really nerdy gaming bar where they have like a bunch of Raspberry Pis with like emulation stations on them and stuff like that. And we go out there sometimes and do little like, I don't want to call it a rave, I want to more call it like a dubstep night and house night where like we have a bunch of different DJs play and everybody's like going around drinking and playing video games and having a really good time. Honestly, I need to go back there again pretty soon because that was the last time that I was there. That was
really?
3 months ago.
Okay.
I really missed that little spot. It's a dope little place out there in the valley actually.
Yeah. Is there any like one specific venue that you prefer playing over another? Or
oh man, probably my favorite venue that I've ever played in all of Spokane. I really like the Pin a lot.
The Pin?
and the reason is, it's not necessarily because of the venue itself, and it's not necessarily because of anything other than I have a ton of nostalgia at that venue.
Okay.
I like the very first show that I ever stepped on stage and played was at the Pin.
Oh, okay.
And I've just seen it evolve. Like it's gone between owners now, and I've seen sound guys that have come and gone through there, and it's just one of the things where I've always established and had a relationship with everyone there. So it's just really cool. It's a very homely feeling when I'm there.
Sure.
Like I don't ever feel like I'm like, oh boy, where's this, that, and like I feel comfortable, stepping up in the sound booth and being like, hey, what's up, Matt? Hey, let me buy you a beer. That kind of
for
stuff.
sure. That's sweet.
Like it's really fun. And also, even just performing there, all of the performances that I've had there over the years, I think I'm like at like 20 or 30 times that I've actually played at the Pin. It's always a really unique and fun experience every time. Whether there's a massive crowd there of just packed out venue, or whether there's 6 people on the dance floor and 3 of them are drunk homeless guys. You know what I mean? It's still a really fun venue, and it's a great place to perform. I enjoy it a lot.
Sure. Get to the second photo here, which is this one.
Oh man!
I have to say, this is we took a deep dive on your Instagram.
Oh man!
This is the first photo that you had posted with the cube on your head.
That
is what I saw.
Way back.
Is this the first photo that you took? Do you remember? Or is this like?
So I remember that was my first design.
Okay.
Before I really ever developed the cube to where it is right now.
Okay, so this isn't what you have now?
No, not even close.
Different.
That,
okay.
I kid you not, is that silver ducting tape that people use for ducting together? It's literally, no joke, children's poster board that you would see for like a science fair project with that tape on the outside. And then, I kid you not, those LEDs on the front, it's just the actual individually addressable LEDs that I use on my current cube. It's all of those snaked between with a slit for my eyes, and then the cube goes over my head, and I kid you not, on the inside of that cube, I wish I had it here so I could show you guys, because I still have it.
Oh, really?
And it's bubble wrap on the inside to actually hold the cube steady on my head. I'm seriously 100% not joking. And then there's a little Arduino in there, and then there's a USB cable lead that went down to a USB battery bank in my pocket.
Just to keep it charged.
That I actually used to run the LEDs. That was my first design.
That's wild.
And it ended up working absolutely swimmingly for the time that I had
it.
Sure. It was a really, really fun thing to have, because that was when I first, started wearing it to events and started like making myself known to be this new DJ in Spokane. And I made a lot of waves with that one design.
I'm sure.
Like, I don't know if you guys know who Nitrix is. By the way, hey buddy, mwah, love you. But he's a really, really, really talented producer. I met him at actually the second show that I even went to. That was like an official, like actual EDM show. And when I was there, I talked to him about like the cube and everything like that, and he thought it was like just branding genius. And it's really cool because it's one of those conversation pieces where me and him still talk all the time about branding and that kind of stuff, because it caused a lot of it caused
a lot of conversation where people are talking about it.
People are like, did you make that? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's like the coolest homemade thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, well, it's poster board and individually addressable LEDs. But
that's crazy.
It was a really cool start into what kind of sparked. That was kind of the spark that started up a wildfire of what has become my brand at this point.
And that's awesome, honestly. That's honestly incredible how like far you've taken it from where you started and everything, and now
it started with poster board and tape that was meant for ducting in houses, and moved to something a lot better these days. I mean, plexiglass and wood and actual control over my patterns.
For sure.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like this one's actually DMX addressable these days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I can send signals from any type of software into and create patterns on it.
That's sweet.
Kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Get to the next photo here.
All right.
Which is a internal of a computer, or a CPU, I guess. I don't want to call it a computer.
So that was actually it's so weird that you picked that, because you guys actually did a really good job of. By the way, I hope you guys know, all you Project Connect viewers out there, I did not see any of this beforehand, and these guys know me way too well, because this is crazy. That was my second big PC build that I ever did. It was like my personal computer for, I want to say, about a year. It was a dual Xeon setup, and I had, I can't even remember how much RAM I had in that originally. But actually a funny story about that, if you look down, there's the two CPU sockets up there, and then below, I don't know if the viewers are going to
They'll see it. They'll see it in the,
So down here, I'm just going to kind of circle with my hand, that right there, that was the chipset for the board originally. And it was meant to be mounted in like a rack mount for a server.
Okay.
But I was using it as a standard desktop, like what you see here. But it was meant to have a ton of airflow over it, going over from front to back, because those rack mount servers have a bunch of fans in the front, and a bunch of fans in the back.
Yeah, sure.
And I actually dealt with a ton of overheating problems and crashing because that chipset wasn't cooled well enough. So I actually had to, no joke, super glue like a little tiny fan onto that chipset so it got enough cooling for all of that. But that was one of the first PCs that I ever built.
Okay.
That was a really, really good little PC, actually. It served me very, very well for quite a few years. I ended up, with the parts, the main board and CPUs and everything, I ended up selling all of the parts, and actually I ended up making about $36
Oh, damn.
out of what I originally paid for everything, because the
Damn.
CPUs went up in value by like a little bit. So that was a great little build, though. I enjoyed that a lot.
With building computers, you're still doing it, yeah?
Actually, hey, if you have any computer needs, I got you. I'm actually, at some point, something that I want to do instead of having a day job, I actually want to start a business, like building computers for people and just doing kind of general IT work. Like, I don't want to work for a specific company, but like if you're like, hey, my computer's running slow, and I'm like, well, you're still using a hard drive, swap to an SSD, and you're like, oh, that's the genius idea. Would you help me out with that? Because a lot of people, I mean, I'm very technology coherent, and I always put my own lens on other people. So whenever I see people and they're having issues, I'm like, well, why did you swap to an SSD? And they're like, what the heck is that? It's one of those things where I want to be kind of that person that's willing to intermediate and help people out with a lot of that stuff. Because there's a lot of really big companies out there that'll do it for you. But I want to kind of be that small person where you can feel like you have someone that you can have a connection with, that you can talk to about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you're more open about it.
I'm like, hey, here's the exact problem. Here's how I'm gonna fix it. Let's do this. So
we'll get to the next photo here, which is gonna be I'm pretty sure this is last winter, I think. Possibly.
This was actually this previous winter. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So yep.
So do you ski or snowboard personally?
I snowboard. That was my one day out of the season. I decided one day, I was like, you know what? I have been completely stressed from work. I've been having a really, really hard time. By the way, Joe, my manager, if you are seeing this, yes, I lied. I called in sick to work that day. and I decided to go up and hit Schweitzer.
Oh, there you go.
It was just breathtaking because snowboarding is my happy place. If there's a place where I feel like I don't have to have any pressure from existing as a human being, it's when I'm up on the mountains skiing around. But I kid you not, that day I woke up the next morning and I've never been more sore in my entire life because I'm not in as good of shape as I used to be back when I was like in high school and cross country and everything and running around and actually staying fit a lot. Keep up with your fitness, kids, because soon you'll be an old guy like me and you'll go up and hit the mountain and you'll think that you're still in your younger body and absolutely wreck yourself. So, but honestly, that was such a blissful day. I had such a good time.
Do you have a preference on mountain? I know you said you're at Schweitzer. Do you like Schweitzer more than the other mountains around here? I know we have like 5 of them.
I like all of the mountains around here a lot. Oh man, I gotta say, Schweitzer's probably my favorite. I love Mount Spokane a lot.
See, and I've
Mount
never...
Spokane is fun to shred.
I've never been to Mount Spokane or the 49 Degrees North. I've never
really
been to either. I've been to Silver, Lookout, and Schweitzer, but I've never been to the two over here.
The thing about Schweitzer is only a mountain if you're in really good shape. If you're top of your game, Schweitzer is a great mountain because it takes you less time to get up the mountain than it does to get down.
Sure.
The thing that I loved about Mount Spokane, and when I've hit it before, it's one of those things where you have so much time to relax on the lifts because they're pretty slow. Oh, okay. So you actually get that time to kind of like actually relax and feel good. And I mean, if you vape, maybe vape a little bit on the on the ski lift up and then hit the mountain again down. So I don't know. I feel like everything has something for someone. Even Lookout, because Lookout has that amazing powder.
Oh yeah, there. Lookout's crazy.
Oh,
with
Lookout's
the powder.
Insane. like I'm a snowboarder and I love powder. So
yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I think every single other mountain in Spokane has a lot to offer, or at least in the local area around here.
So I believe this is gonna be the last photo.
Okay.
Photo of you and your brother. This is a throwback photo on your Instagram.
Oh man.
So I don't even know when it was really taken. Where were you at here at all?
That was in Maui. I was visiting my grandparents.
Okay.
My grandparents on my mom's side both live in Maui. And we were down there. I had a really good time. I've been to Maui so many times at this point, I kind of lost count. It's like, I think it's like 8 or 9 times now. Like, I know how to surf and like me and my brother had a really good time. It was one of those times when I kind of look back at memories like that and I'm just like, man, I miss being like a kid where I, still lived in my parents' house and I didn't have bills or dependency or, a job necessarily. And if I didn't have a job, that was okay because I had that kind of backbone. It was nice being young and not having a lot to worry about because, oof, those were good times. Also, me and my brother are still very close to this day.
I was gonna bring up the short hair, dude. You got some really short hair there. And now you got this mane you got going on.
So back then, I wore my hair short because I just didn't think that I would look good with long hair at all. And also, I was in a lot better shape back then. I certainly don't have that tone of muscles anymore at all. I'm kind of a bit of a chub muffin these days by comparison. But man, those were really good times back in the day. Back when I was still running, still in really good shape, and enjoying life. Not that I don't now.
No,
I enjoy life in a different way now. I dedicate a lot of time to creating music and my job, everything else.
Exactly, and that's what it's about.
Exactly.
It's following your passion, and that's what it looks like you're doing, and it seems like you're doing.
I've evolved a lot as a person over the years.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where even when I first started out, going back to music and DJing and everything like that, when I first started out, I had a really almost holier than thou arrogant attitude because of the way that I learned how to DJ. Like, I learned on like vinyl, and I had exposure to a lot of different techniques that most people don't get to learn or have the privilege to learn when they first started out. And I more considered that something to be grasped and held on to, and I considered that something as a superiority to other DJs, rather than in the beginning realizing that, hey, everybody has a origin and everybody learns to grow and develop in the scene as they do, and you should never fault somebody when they're at that starting stage. And that's something where it was really cool to have the origin that I did, but dang, I've evolved a lot since then, being that kid that's like, oh, I learned on vinyl. Back in my day, we didn't have BPMs, that kind of crap.
So this is kind of the part of the show where I kind of give you the reins here.
Okay.
And you can kind of plug what you want to plug. You can say it into that camera or that camera, whatever you prefer.
I'm just gonna be irrelevant.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can lean into it and look at that one.
Hey. Okay, so my thing is, Truly, please sponsor me. I love you. You're better than White Claw. Don't let anybody tell you different. Truly, okay. Second, I have a couple of really big shows coming up. I can't announce anything yet, as far as where we are right now. I got some big things coming up though, especially out. There's a couple of things that I'm doing that are more kind of oriented towards a little bit bigger of crowds. So I'm really looking forward to it. I gotta plug my homie here really fast.
Yeah, sure, dude.
I gotta plug two of my homies actually.
Whoa, just one.
Whoa. Okay. All right. I'll keep it to one. But in all seriousness, my buddy Riley Odell. He goes by Piram, by the way. You guys definitely need to hit him up at some point. I will give you guys all of his information.
Yeah, for sure.
But Riley Odell Piram, he's one of the most talented people I've ever met in my entire life, and I genuinely can say my production caliber has more than quadrupled since I met that kid. I met him like 4 months ago, and
wow.
He showed me a lot of stuff. Not necessarily that I didn't know about Ableton. He hasn't necessarily upped my caliber from a actual understanding standpoint. It's more, he's so creative.
Okay.
He's a really good dude, and I just wanted to plug him while I'm here because I gotta say, he's one of the most talented people that I've ever met in my entire life. He really knows how to manipulate sound very, very well.
For sure.
I gotta say, that kid, Riley, mwah, you get props.
You got another guy?
Also,
I was just joking about the only one guy. I'm not serious.
I'm not plugging myself anymore these days because I mean, hey, y'all know who I am by this point. I'm the guy who sits up in VIP at the knitting factory with the cube on, man. No, but in all seriousness, also my buddy Blaine, he's freaking awesome. He goes by Antihero. He's never had a proper booking in Spokane yet. And he is pretty damn underrated. He is a really, really good DJ.
Okay.
He really is. And he's actually getting very good at developing the production side of things, too. So those are two names, Piram and Antihero. You guys better keep a lookout for those guys because they're going to be really, really up and coming here in Spokane at some point. And maybe, just maybe, you might see him at Lost Lance. That's what I'm thinking. Something like that.
Maybe even Project Connect, dude.
Oh, I know, right? Whoa, man! You know you've made it big when.
Right? So I just want to thank you for coming on, dude.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
I want to say thank you, especially to you guys. You guys don't see the mic operator over here, but I really want to say thank you guys for having me.
His hands are probably tired by now. It's been a little minute.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to both of you guys for having me on because this has been a pretty darn cool experience.
No, yeah, thanks for honestly having us over here.
Like I said, there is so much technology in my studio right now. This is wild.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's episode of Project Connect. Down below you'll find the link to our new website where you can purchase the new limited edition summer tee as well as check out the new Project Connect podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, make sure to like and share it so your friends can watch it as well. Thanks for watching. See you next week, guys.